On September 28, a truck crashed into the church when congregants had gathered at the chapel for service. The assailant then opened fire at the worshippers and set the church ablaze. 4 people were killed and 8 others were injured in the horrific attack. In less than a minute after the first 911 call was made, the security forces arrived at the spot and engaged the culprit. In a gunfight that hardly lasted for 8 minutes, the assailant was neutralized. Hatred and prejudice against a faith itself, a romantic relationship that soon ended painfully, or a deployment in a hostile environment. What could possibly explain the reason behind Thomas Jacob Sanford, a 40-year-old man going on a killing spree in a church that saw tragic death of 4 innocent civilians in Michigan?
During this incident, what we know right now is that a 40-year-old suspect from Burton, he's a male, he drove his vehicle through the front doors of the church. He then exited his vehicle, firing several rounds at individuals within the church.
FBI is investigating into the case, which they describe as a targeted act of violence. Cops believe, had it not been for the first responders present inside the church, the mass shooting could have been deadlier. And that brings us to key questions. What was the motive of Sanford behind targeting the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? As the mystery continues, what do the investigating agencies, shooters' friends and family have revealed so far? Let's understand. Multiple theories have floated on the internet explaining the motive of the assailant. One of the prominent reasons that many media reports have flagged is Thomas Sanford's hatred towards Mormons. For him, they were anti-Christ. Once he reportedly started his anti-Mormon rant even in front of a Burton City Council candidate. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has also endorsed this theory. Based on her interaction with the FBI director, Leavitt has drawn conclusion that this was a person who hated Mormons. But what was the reason behind this hatred? Those who knew Sanford said that it was due to a failed relationship with a religious woman who belonged to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Sanford also served in Marine Corps from 2004 to 2008. He was also deployed in Iraq from 2007 to 2008. During his tenure there, he may have been exposed to enemy fire and explosives used in Iraqi war. The slain assailant was also an avid hunter of geese, turkey and deer. Pictures accessed from his social media show that he is also a supporter of US President Donald Trump. However, the mystery behind his motive hasn't been solved yet. His father, in an interview, apologized for the incident. For him, to ascertain the purpose of mass shooting is irrelevant. However, for the families who suffered, it matters. This is not the first such incident in the United States where place of worship has come under the attack. This is 324th case of mass shooting this year in the US so far. However, even in the face of such a deadly attack, the residents who were present inside the church showed a great sense of unity and courage. From shielding children to helping senior citizens move to safer locations, locals risked their lives but surely minimized the damage.
We were kind of in between services at that point, and what we were asked to do was to pause everything, evacuate the building for safety concerns, and then let everyone know that we're not going to be holding services that day. We're all focused on just trying to figure out, is everyone okay? Is everyone accounted for? Trying to make sure that we're focused on the people themselves that were impacted by this whole thing.
Interestingly, nurses who were on a strike in a nearby hospital also left the picket line and extended a helping hand in treating the injured.
At the scene, it sounds like they had, the worst of the gunshot wounds over here. And then there was just a lot of churchgoers ambulating around. They had to climb through windows and they were all, none of them were doing that well. They were all in distraught over there. It was mostly just helping them get around, ice packs, helping somebody do a wheelchair, helping people walk from the church all the way down to Holly Road where the bus was waiting for them to get them to the Trillium, the movie theater.
A lot of them really didn't recognize that they had anything until their adrenaline started to slow down. And then we noticed a lot of people had abrasions or cuts from either being pulled from a window or jumping through a window to run from the shooter.
Describing them as heroes, doctors and security officials acknowledged their contribution. The probe is underway. However, for families of the deceased, the mystery behind this mass shooting needs to be resolved.